All right.
And we're live.
Says we are anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we really are, but I'm just kidding. Okay, so hey, folks, from the H&M show community, Andrew, thank you for participating, and hopefully we'll have some more show up soon. I'm going to share my screen. And Andrew, you ask questions anytime and all the time you want to. Okay, so
Okay.
Let's see here. I want to make. Alrighty. Okay, I want to. All right, first thing I'm going to do is show you. I'm going to go to scene collection up here, and I'm going to create a new one. All right.
Okay.
So that way you know exactly. You can see right now that I'm in one of the H&M shows with all the different scenes and sources, but I'm going to start fresh. So when you go up to scene collection.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Sure.
I have started a split screen.
Uh-huh.
So I've got OBS open. Okay. Mm-hmm. It is showing me the two things with the transition, thing. Mm-hmm. And it's showing me I've got a scene set up with window capture and video capture device. And it's showing me what you're showing right now. Should it be doing that?
It could, because you captured a window, yes.
Very
well could do that. Absolutely.
Okay.
So let's why don't you go ahead and go to a new one just like I'm doing, and that way we'll start from a blank slate and go from there.
Okay. How do I get to new one? Go to file, new, or
no, up at the top where it says scene collection. See where it says file, edit, view, profile, and then scene collection?
I see. Okay, so I click there.
Yep, scene collection and click new.
Okay, so I'm going to call this H&M new.
Right. OBS demo is what I will call mine.
Okay.
And it should open up a blank slate.
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, so now we have that. What we want to do now is we want to create a scene. And you can, just for the sake of, let's say we're doing a show or something like that, let's just create one that says intro, one that says side by side, kind of like we want to have a side by side scene, and then an exit or a closing or something like that. So all I'm going to do is name the scene. So the first scene, I'm just going to name it. Right here, it already comes up with one scene, so I'm just going to rename it. I right click and I can rename that. And I'm just going to say that's my opening.
Okay.
Add any sources yet, we're going to come back to that. So then I'm going to hit the plus sign again. This is going to add another scene, and I want this one side by side. This just lets me know that I'm going to create a side by side scene where if I want to have a guest in here, I can.
Okay.
Now what I can do for the third one, I can hit another one, add that, and then I'm going to say this is the closing. I've created three scenes. I have an opening scene, a side-by-side scene, and then a closing scene.
Mm-hmm.
I could do a scene with just myself. I could do all kinds of stuff. I could have all kinds of different things if I wanted to. I could have that. But that's not what I'm going to do. Here we go. So we're going to go to the opening scene, and let's say we want to open with a timer and maybe a video from my computer. Okay.
Okay.
So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to have to we're going to hit the plus sign. And what it does is it gives you an audio input capture, audio output capture. Let's just look at some of these. Can you read those at all, or do I need to make them bigger?
Well, I've clicked it on mine. I can see audio input, output, browser source, color source, display capture, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's right. You can see it on yours. Okay.
Yeah.
So just for the audience that's maybe
going to watch this again. And now that you brought it up that big, I can see it on yours too.
Okay, good. All right, so here's all the choices of things that you can do. First of all, let's just add a color source just for the fun of it. I want to add a color source. And all this is going to do is going to give me a background, let's say dark red. I want to choose a dark red color just as a background, just for the fun of it. I mean, no real reasons. You probably never see it, but I'm going to do it and just see. So I can select a color. Let's say I take this dark red color, hit OK. and boom. So anytime I add anything, a scene or anything like that, or any of that kind of stuff, did I go too fast or did you get that?
No, I got it. Just label mine. It says create new. Okay.
Right.
Then when it says collect color, but I want a nice blue one.
There you go.
Okay, now.
All right, so let me zoom back down so you can see my full screen, so you can see that red color in the window. So now I'm going to right click on that little box that I just created, and I'm going to go down to transform fit to screen. So that way that square fits to screen. So if I want that screen to be actually bigger than the screen, I would have to stretch the right, stretch the left. I'd have to just skew it all and make it fit differently. So I can crop this first.
Okay, wait, back up. Where did you go to after you got the box?
Okay, right click.
On the box itself.
Yes, and then transform.
Oh, I see down there. Okay.
And then I can choose stretch to screen. So now that puts all of the red in the whole place because it was a square before.
Right.
Now it stretches to screen and makes it fit on screen.
Okay.
Hey, John, how are you, sir?
Good, and you?
Good. Just going through a live demo with Andrew. He's setting one up, a scene collection, brand new one. So we're just going through some basics and how to do some of that stuff.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, go ahead.
Should I be in studio mode or not?
It doesn't matter. You can be in either one. You don't necessarily need to be in studio mode because we're not really blending it into the next scene.
All right. Well, I just clicked studio mode, and when I did, it says preview is currently disabled. What does that mean?
Not sure. Let me see if it does it with me. No.
And where do you enable it?
Well, you're going back and forth between. The only time it matters is when you're live, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you're not streaming or recording, there's nothing going out on that right-hand side, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So you're just composing everything on the left. Now, if you are live and you're streaming and you want to edit the live shot, then you have to go to this single mode where you'll be editing the right-hand side. You follow me? Otherwise, you're always editing. You know, you can edit the preview screen and then change to it. But if you want to make a change in the middle of a live shot, you want to go to that single one, and that'll give you your live output. And then you can edit it.
Got it. Hello, Lolan.
Good greetings. Sorry I'm a little late.
That's all right. We are starting with a brand new scene collection. So if you wanted to do, you can start your own, get right in with us and just take over from there if you want.
I've got it open. That's about, and I spent a bit of time last week trying to upload my Google Slides as, you know, as an intro, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out how to do it.
All right. Well,
boy, am I working at ground zero.
We'll see if we can't help you out with that. Okay. So what we're doing is working on an opening, and you can see right here, I have the word opening, and these are the different scenes. I have opening, then we're going to do a side-by-side, and then we're going to do a closing. The first thing we did was create 3 scenes. So now I just added a dark red color just as a background, just for the fun of it. Andrew, he said he did a blue background color. Now I'm going to add a video, just to have a video playing in the background. I'm not going to worry about the sound. I just want to have an image or a media source. I'm going to pull in a media source, and I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to browse for it, and I think I have one actually that Bill gave to me. Can't remember where that is, though. Let's see if I had it there. No. I thought I did. Nope, I must have put it down here. Let's see, I don't remember. Let's just do, I can do from the game show just because I know where that is and I can get right to it. All right, so one of these videos I could just have in the background just for the fun of it. So let's do this one. This is the game show intro. So I chose that one. I'm not worried about sound, but it doesn't have that on here anyway. So what I'll do is, and I'll go ahead and loop it so that way it just keeps playing. So that's kind of the interest. And you can see it goes up, Andrew, like that. It's up in the top left. And again, we have to resize that. We're going to, instead of, since this looks more like a monitor versus a square, I'm going to transform and then fit to screen instead of stretch to screen. And it should fit, and it does. I'm going to turn off the media source sound, which you see the mixer down there. I just turned that volume off. So if you're doing it, you can do this, and you can put a video in there. If you have a video that you want to try and put in there, try it, see what it's like. Check it out. You can do it.
Okay, once I click on media source, where does it, I'm not pulling up anything. I mean,
if you go to your, if you'll share your screen so I can see, I can maybe help you.
All right.
I'd be glad to help you.
Okay, let me get back over here. Do a screen share. Okay.
All right.
Can you see that now?
I sure can.
Okay.
So when you go ahead and get out of studio mode right now, just click on studio mode because you don't need it right now. There you go. Okay, so when you go to media source, click on the media source.
I am.
Huh, okay, so.
And it's just turning that little eyeball on and off.
Huh. Interesting.
Okay, why don't I do this? I will
delete it and try it again.
Delete it, and we'll go down here and we'll say click, and we will say add media source.
Wonder why pure preview is currently disabled.
I don't know. I have no idea where that came from or what. You know. So we're going to create a new one. We say okay. We're going to browse for one, and we go over here into videos. We'll go down here and catch a nice one that is halfway small, hopefully. MP4 file, pedestrian bridge. That should be a good one. Okay. Then I say okay, right? Oh, I should say loop, right?
Yeah, you should loop it.
Okay. And then say okay.
All right. Go ahead and right click on the preview panel. Just right click on it and try and hit enable view. There we go. There we go.
There we go. There we go.
There you go. So there's a video behind you, or if that's a video.
Yeah, it is. It basically was made to show the pedestrian bridge. It's just me talking over one of my backgrounds.
Okay, so right click on in the middle of that picture.
Okay.
And then when you right click, you're going to go down to transform and then fit to screen. And when you do that, there you go. Should make it full screen and it fits right on there. Perfect. Excellent job.
Very good. Very good. Okay.
Very nicely done. Okay, so now. Right. So now that's how you do kind of an intro that you can do and that kind of thing and have it loop or whatever, and you can do that. That's how I kind of do like the pre-shows before I do anything. Have that as my video playing and looping. All right.
Can you do the same with a slide, like a Google slideshow?
I think a slideshow you have to manually do, don't you?
Well, I would think what you could do is you can create a slide set within OBS and use your individual Google Slides as image files.
Yeah.
So what you would do in that case, what am I doing? Oh, I've got a box open. I would start, add a source, which would be...
okay, add a source, all right.
Well, there's an image slideshow down there.
Exactly. Image slideshow is what you want as the
choice.
As the choice. And then once you do that, you can...
okay,
then
image slideshow, got it.
Then as you open that up, it'll ask you, to add your files. I would think, I'm not sure whether you could indicate a file that's on the web or not. So Google Slides, if it exists, does Google Slides keep it on your, keep it in your user folder, Michael?
She has it on her computer.
Yeah, I have it on my computer.
You might have to break the slideshow up. Try and put the slideshow in and see what happens. It might play them all.
That existing, I guess it would be, eh?
Yeah, you can try that. See.
So then what? When you have to put it doesn't do anything. So click
Well,
if you screen share for us real quick, let's pull you up and we'll maybe we can walk you through.
I'm doing everything backwards here because I couldn't see what you were doing.
No worries.
Hang on till I just do this the right way. Cancel. Right now. Okay, screen share. It's not bringing anything up for me. Oh, there.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
So in your case, why don't you go to studio mode, which is on the right-hand side, down at the bottom, kind of a little bit up from exit settings and then
there
studio
you go, right
mode.
there, up. There you go, studio mode.
Yeah. So now you're on the intro, and you have a video in there or no?
No, I don't have any.
Interesting. You don't have any
from zero.
You don't have any plus sources at the bottom. That's odd.
Yeah, just
no, and that's part of the reason I was
scroll your window down. Yeah, just scroll the bottom and part of your screen. If you take the bottom right corner, you see how there you go. Pull that down. And it doesn't have it, huh?
It's weird. It may be a setting, Michael. Take a look under tools.
That was my problem because I was watching all these videos to learn how to do this stuff.
Oh, wait a minute. Look over on the right. You got scene transitions, plus, minus, fade, and all that kind of stuff. Have you rearranged them inadvertently?
No.
Right click in the sources box and see if that doesn't allow you to add a. There you go. Add. Go up to the top, say add, and then image slideshow. Up in the middle. There you go. Well, you don't want to add an existing unless you've already created it. You want to create a new one, correct?
Okay.
So, because this is within OBS. If you had already created it in OBS, you could simply use it again in another scene.
I see. That's
what they mean. You were thinking that you'd already created it in Google Slides, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, now you have some visibility behavior. If you look there, it says always play even when it's not visible. That means that it's just going to go through its timed loop, whether it's being shown or not.
Right.
If you pull that down, you get two other options as well. One of them which will stop when it's not visible and restart when it's visible. So if you want to go back to a slideshow periodically and have it advance, like you could do that, or pause it when it's not and unpause it when it is visible. So you could play around with that to get a feel for whether or not it would work within your show or your recording. Okay. And then, of course, the time between slides is set in milliseconds, which is 1,000th of a second. So I think that's 8 seconds per slide, if I'm not mistaken. Wow. And then how fast the transition is. So you can just highlight it and type another number in there rather than use the up and down arrows.
So 8
10 seconds with 8 seconds, or that's 8 seconds there. So.
Is that it? Or
that's
one more?
That's going to be a 1 second slide presentation.
All right, there. 10 seconds.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Transition. 7 seconds? Is that what that means?
No, 7/10 of a second.
Oh, so that's a little fast, isn't it?
Depends on what type of transition you're doing. Hello, Scott.
Well, you've seen my intro in my video, so that's kind of 7/10 of a second. I think I'm going to make it. Okay, hide when slideshow is done, randomize playback, and loop.
In other words, if your show is only a portion of your scene, and you want that box to disappear once the slideshow is done, you would hide it when the slideshow is done.
Okay.
Now, image files, you're going to want to click on the plus. Add files. Or if you add a directory, it'll pull everything in there.
Now, I thought I had. So. Oh, isn't that strange? Because on my desktop, I have a shortcuts.
Well,
for
notice down here on the image files where it says file name Google Drive and it says image files BMP, TGA, PNG. It's filtering that for just graphics files.
Oh, I see.
So you won't see stuff that is not real. See if there's an option to see all files. Pull the arrow down and see what you get. No.
No.
So in other words, it's discriminating. We're not going to allow you to put in anything that is not a BMP, TGA, PNG, GIF, whatever.
Yeah,
so that means you're going to have to take your Google slides and make them into PNGs or something like that.
Or make that into a video.
And then you'd show it as a video, yeah. As opposed to an image slideshow.
Mm-hmm.
So
is your intro, you're presently using a slideshow as an intro?
Yeah.
With Google, okay.
Yeah.
What are your output options on Google Slide, Michael?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think you can. I mean, she might be able to insert a file.
Yeah,
as one of her sources. As one of her sources, she could do that. Maybe.
I don't use that, so I'm trying to find Google Slides. I don't seem to have it on my Chrome.
But a media source, I think you could pull in a media source and try it that way and see if it would work. I don't know that it would, but
you might even be able to pull in a web source and point to the slideshow on Google Drive too.
Yeah, but they don't let you do that because of security. They don't let you come through.
They
won't let you share.
So I'm going to move this over and show you what I'm talking about here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
Stop sharing and then share again. So there's 4 slides for the introduction and 2 slides for the outro. So, and I mean, I thought about trying to create a video of some sort of this slideshow, but Google doesn't seem to have a way to do that. So
no, but Stupaflix does.
From a Google slide? From a Google slideshow they do, Andrew?
I'm almost certain you can put almost any image type into Stupaflix.
You can go open your slide presentation in Google Drive and go to each slide and say download as JPEG, PNG, or whatever.
Yeah, you can do those.
And it will give you the raw. It would give you each of the slides. Of course, you'd have to go through each of them, and then you'd be setting the timing and everything within OBS, as opposed to, anything you'd already done in the slideshow. There doesn't seem to be an option to export the entire slideshow as a MP4 or something like that.
So what I did was I right-clicked on there. It didn't give me anything. So
you right-clicked on what?
On slide.
Okay. Go to File. You're on one of those slides, right? File, then go out to Download As. Keep going. There you go. And then you can save that slide, current slide, as a PNG image.
Okay. So does it need, for OBS, does it need to be PNG or JPEG? Which is better?
It can be JPEG, or it can be PNG, or it can be GIF. I would say PNG just because it tends to be a little smaller and probably would transition better. And I don't think at that resolution you're not going to see any resolution, problems with it.
All right. So now file name.
You remember the option you had in OBS, you could point to a folder. So if you put all of the slides in the folder, you could just simply select the folder. Of course, I don't know what order they would play in, whether it's alphabetic or the order in which you put them in or what.
Well, what if I put a number right at the very beginning?
There you go. Good idea. Put a number on them, and then you'll be able to tell when you see them in the box.
Okay. Folder. What shall I call it? OBS slides.
There you go.
Okay. So
go to your next slide. Same thing. Same thing.
I can do that. You guys don't. I don't have to hold you guys up.
That's okay. Go ahead and do 2 or 3 of them, and then let's make sure it works. We're all really smart until we try and use it, and then it doesn't work, and then we figure out why.
This could be tricky because there's a lot of transition within the slide here.
Oh, so that it's an animated slide? You've got elements in the slide? Well, that might be tricky.
Yeah, because I don't believe your transitions are going to transfer.
No, over. You might try that as a GIF and see if it's because GIFs have the ability to be animated. JPEGs do too, I think.
No, they don't.
Or is it PNG files?
No, PNG doesn't either. I mean, they recently started doing some, but not all of them.
So it doesn't give me a GIF as an option.
It doesn't give you an option.
It won't.
Yeah, that's too bad.
You have to use a program like GIF Maker or something like that, which will convert slides into that type of thing. But
interesting.
Well, what if I download this as a?
Yeah, that's not going to do it either. I don't think PDF.
No.
What's
what happens?
Vector graphics.
Vector graphic is so you can it gives you a very, very fine point, so that way when you make it into the side of a billboard, it stays the same. Your logo and everything stays the same as it does when it's down to like a thumbnail.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's for scalability purposes. Basically what it is it saves the graphics file as a mathematical formula as opposed to an image. And that means that you can make it as tiny or as big as you like, and that same math applies. So if you're going to use a graphic on your business card and you're also going to put it on the side of your truck, it's best to be working with vector graphics if you're going to use the same file.
I see.
Right.
So if I played this right to the end, this thing.
Well, play that slide and see if you can.
That's what I was just wondering whether. No, that's. Oh wait now. Oh, it's going to play the whole thing. Darn.
The whole slideshow.
No. Okay. So here.
And you stop it there and try and save it again, you might be able to pull in that.
That's what I was wondering if I could pull in the finished product.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, that didn't work.
No, that's interesting.
Oh, wait a minute now. Okay, so if I go out of wait now. Full screen, exit. I have to be in the slideshow, don't I, in order to do what I need to do?
Yeah, you have to be in the control element in order to do it. Yeah, that's interesting.
No, it's
Interesting
not going to work. Okay, but just for the sake of this exercise, let's download it as a PNG, and it might just show up by what we see.
Mm-hmm.
This is 4. Oh, wrong place. Try again, LA. There. All right. So if we just go that far, so now if I close this, so stop sharing this, close this, and okay, so now image source.
Image slideshow, add.
Yeah.
Properties.
Oh, is it properties? Yeah, you're right.
Well, you already have a slideshow, so just
Right,
add properties.
you're right.
So you just add an image.
Okay.
Scroll
But-
down.
So down to your bottom. Yeah,
Scroll
okay.
down. And then add an image.
Yeah, or the direct. Oh, yeah. There you go. Add the directory. See what happens. See if it plays them in the numeric order.
Where the hell did it go?
I don't know. It was called OBS Slides, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's gone.
Go up higher in
I
your left
thought
side.
there was a thing where you could check for recent.
Are you sure you're on your desktop? What's the network desktop? What is that? Try and add the individual slides and see if you can find it then.
I'm just looking on the desktop to see if where it landed. Well, isn't that cute? It's not there.
Lolan, when you were browsing, do me a favor, just satisfy my curiosity on something. Go back up and look for that folder again, the directory.
Out of here?
Yeah, hit plus, hit the image files plus,
Yeah.
add directory, and
Yeah.
hit add directory. And now on the left-hand side, scroll that scroll bar.
Yeah,
Right
look,
on,
here it is.
there you go. I think you were looking at a different network desktop. I don't understand what that was, but go ahead and say select folder. That's it. Okay. And hit transition. Let's see what happens. I guess it's playing it now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So did it bring it over?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did.
And you of
But
course want to resize that to right click on it and as Michael said earlier, transform.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why I can't hear you though. That's weird.
Huh.
Fit to screen. Keep going down. Fit to screen. There you go.
I'll bet
Okay,
you
now I can.
when you hit transition, so it's on the live side, that it'll start over from scratch, from the beginning.
Depends on your settings, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if we go, yeah, yeah, because when we left that, the settings that we chose. Okay. So that will be a challenge for me to figure out what to do with that slide that has all the transitions in it.
Yeah, I'll do some poking around in the OBS forum too. There might be a more elegant way of preserving the work you've already done on your slideshow. I don't know.
You can always record your slideshow with a software and then just use it as a MP4
Right.
file.
As a video source, yeah.
And I could probably do that. Oh, there's 2 or 3 things. Well, I could do it with Zoom, couldn't I?
Probably, yep.
Yeah.
And as Andrew, or as Andrew said, you might even be able to do it within OBS.
Yeah, it'll record.
Record it, and then you do an application like Window, and then play back your slide presentation in that. Of course, they save files natively in some wacky video format. I can't remember what it is.
Zoom would probably be your best bet.
Yeah, I think so.
And easiest.
All right. I'm starting my list.
So now you got a project, Lowell. Now you can rebuild it all over again.
Create a video.
Or as Andrew suggested, the animated GIF might work. So you might, if you find something that can convert that slideshow into an animated GIF, I don't know.
See, you know, PowerPoint, the later versions, you can just create a video right within PowerPoint.
Well, you can change your Google slideshow to a PowerPoint presentation and then run it through that.
Yeah,
but
no, but I'm not using the latest version, and I'm not willing to pay for it.
I hear that.
So, yeah.
Scott, do you know of any fancy schmancy free tools that do animated GIF conversion?
I'm looking at Spark, Adobe Spark, to see if that might work, but I'm not coming up with something that I can demonstrate.
I know GIF Creator will do it.
I have a whole list of GIF generators. Let me see if I can find them. This will just take a second.
We have Scott Scowcroft in the house.
Yes, we
need to
do.
exploit this resource.
That's all. Take cover.
I think we need to acknowledge and say hi to Sheila. Are you creating an OBS, Sheila?
Oh, no. I can't spell OBS, but I know people who can. That's all I need. I came in because my husband wouldn't let me watch I can't think of the name of the show. So I grabbed some wine and said, well, hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go watch them struggle with OBS. So that's what I'm doing. It's very interesting to listen to, but it's not a place I'm going to visit.
Wow.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my presentation. Scott, when you find that, just let us know. Okay, so let's say I have an opening, okay, and I have that video that I have in there. That's my one element. And let's say I want to add another element, okay? And let's just say I want the video. I can resize this video by dragging the edge of it and making it. Actually, I'm doing that with the dark red. I'm sorry. Let me, you can't fit the screen. Okay. Make sure you have the media source chosen, and I can move that media source right here. So I can have it kind of looking like that. If I want to make that dark red, I can right click on the dark red and transform stretch to screen. So that way it stretches and the dark red is back there, and then the video is playing in the middle. So I can kind of design that how I want. Let's say I wanted to, like I do, you can see on screen I have my timer. I want to add that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go hit the plus sign again. And then I'm going to do a window capture. And Andrew, if you have a separate window somewhere on your screen, because I know you were working on this too, you can add a window. And what's cool about that is I can crop it afterwards. So let's say this is I'm going to name this one timer. So I have timer, and it automatically comes up with my Manicam. But I can choose right here, all of these down here I can choose. And right here, Google Countdown Timer. So what's cool about that? What?
Michael, I'm sorry to interrupt, but can you increase your bandwidth or anything? You're really fuzzy.
Yeah,
Your
I can't.
video's really
I'm having
fuzzy.
a hard time seeing it.
I got too much stuff open, or I would.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll deal with what you got, but I just
Yeah.
thought it might have been a.
And it's probably because I'm using Manicam, I'm sure. I did restart my computer, but it doesn't seem to help always. But so I chose the timer, and then what I can do is I can hit OK, and once it's over here, once I have it over here, Now I can crop it just to that 30 seconds. And the way I want to do that is I want to hold down the Alt key on one of these little circles. There's circles in each one of these corners and along the sides. So I can take one of these corners, hold down Alt, and then move it. See how it turns green as I'm doing that? Then I can take the bottom right corner and do the same thing, and then I have that. Then I can actually make that timer as big as I want because it's scalable now because of what I have selected. It's really kind of cool, and you can add that feature. And then what's nice is, and you guys can see this on screen, or can you? You just know. Okay, hold on. I'm going to give you a full screen because now you can see the timer. This is the window that I have the timer. So if I move that around, it does not affect anything. This is what's good about using a window. It doesn't affect anything except for when I do that and shake it, I have to bring everything back.
Right. The other thing too that you can turn off on a window whether or not your mouse is visible. So if you had to do like Michael wanted to click on those arrows to move it back or whatever, or reset it, and you didn't want that arrow to appear, you could set that within your window definition.
Right here it says capture cursor. I can turn that off. So now whenever I hover over that 30 seconds, you don't see the cursor coming over the 30 seconds. That's what he's talking about.
And that's a Google app, is it?
No, that's a component within that app that Michael uses.
That counter is out on the web.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's the one that everybody uses for the time zone one. They have timer. They have anything to do with time. Trust me, they have alarm clock, countdown, everything. Stopwatches, military time, all kinds of different things. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I do. That's how I do that, and I bring it in. So that's like my opening scene. So I have 3 items in there. I have a background color. Excuse me. I have a media source, which is my video. And then I have a timer. So if I start that timer, if I start that timer, the timer's going, and you don't see me, you don't see anything. It doesn't affect the video at all. It just starts the timer and works it. It's one of the many things, like during the Plusword show, where I'm sitting there, I have to stop the timer, reset the timer, go back, get the score in, enter the score, then change to the next person, go to the, so that's just one of the things going on in the background when I'm doing all that. Then side by side, if I want, let's say we want to set up a side by side. This is our main area, and this is what we want to do. What I've done is I have Pixlr. I designed this. I have Pixlr right here that I designed. This side by side with green, I already made it green ahead of time. And I made actually Heather helped me make that graphic, but I made the graphic with Plusword right in there so I can have, I'm going to have the 2 people or the 2 videos from on either side so I could do a side by side. So I want to import that video that way. Now, it's going to be hard for me to do that to show you exactly, but I'm going to try just to give you an attempt or an idea on how I do that. The reason I say it's going to be difficult is because you guys are in a Hangout window, and Hangout windows are little square boxes, so I can't really bring a really cool video of you guys into that's why Zoom works perfectly, because it's shaped like a TV, and it fits perfectly into those boxes, and it works. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and I'm going to hit the plus sign to add an item, and I'm going to add an image. When I go and add an image, we're going to name this side by side. Okay. And then I'm going to hit OK. Now I have to go look for it. I have to go find it. So where I would go is I would go to my Google Drive, Game Night, Plusword. Here's where I have all those. Here's the cool one that I just showed you, the side by side, and boom, I'm going to pop that in there. Then I just hit OK. You can hit Control F. I think, Andrew, I told you to right click, hit transform, and then fit to screen. But if you look right here as a shortcut, Control F does it quickly. So you can, once you're used to doing it a lot, you can just hit Control F, and boom, there it is. So now what I want to do is I want to capture a video as well. So to do that, and this is going to be tricky, so I'm going to pull my video off of my Manicam just to show you. And there's no telling what that's going to look like. But I'm going to go to Window Capture. And normally I would just pick the zoom. I would pick the Zoom with all 5 contestants or all 5 people there, and I put the people where I want them. And then that's where I was learning and doing tests where I could pull in from Zoom how I wanted everybody to come in the room. So I made people sit in the waiting room and make them come into a specific order, so that way I could have teammates together. But anyway, so this window capture is just going to be me on ManyCam, just so we can reference it. So, all right, so when I have this, there's ManyCam right there. I'm going to hit OK. And there's, like I said, there's no telling how this is going to look because I'm going to get a really small video right here that shows my video.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just giving you the point of what you can do. So there's my video, and I capture it, and I go like this, and I put it all right here. Okay, so now that video, and it's ugly. I know it's going to be pixelated and stuff. That's probably going to get me inside that window pretty well. I mean, I want to kind of make sure that I get all the sides in and all that kind of stuff just to make sure. And then what I'm going to do is since this is on top, I need to move it down so it shows up behind, okay? So I'm going to hit minus and it disappears probably. You wish to remove me? No, that's not what I meant to do. I'm sorry.
You want the down arrow, I think.
Down arrow is what I meant. Yeah, down arrow. So I hit the down arrow. Now I know it's behind and I can kind of see it back there. So now with this image, I'm going to select the side-by-side image. I'm going to right-click, go to filters. When I go to filters, I'm going to hit the plus sign, and then I'm going to hit chroma key. And then just, you don't have to change the name or anything, just chroma key right there, and it chroma keys it out for me. And you can adjust these, you can similarity, smooth this, all this kind of stuff. I usually don't mess with it because it's usually pretty good. They do a really good job with it, unless you just need to, I mean, unless you just see something that's just off.
You're probably using the official chroma key green too as the background color.
Right, exactly.
If you're using something else, or if you're not sure what kind of green you've got, you can get in there and diddle with it and kind of adjust it to work with whatever you have.
That's right.
Could you explain what chroma key means?
It's, well, I mean, it's, well, what chroma key is basically it's taking out a color. It's like a, I guess, I don't know. Do you know, John, specifically what that is?
You're absolutely right. Basically, chroma key is a process whereby you select a particular color and you say, I want that to be invisible.
Yeah.
Okay. I want that to be transparent. And that then allows you to do all those effects like Superman flying with his cape blowing and stuff. They put him in front of a big green screen. They turn a fan on to make his cape go like this, and he lays on top of a green ladder. And then they can take all of that stuff out. And then put a picture of clouds going by behind him, and it looks like he's flying, right? So that's the whole function of chroma key.
Now, the other thing is, too, the reason that they use green is very popular, and the reason is because supposedly human beings do not have the green tone in their pigment of their skin and everything. So
unless tequila is involved, in which case,
yes, yes, then there's very much.
Yeah, especially if you get the worm. Yeah.
So if I want it for my other one, let's just go to this one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to a window capture again, and this time I'm going to choose the hangout that you guys are in, because I'm going to pull in the whole film strip just if I can. Okay, let's see if I can pull this in. I'm going to choose Hangouts, right? I think. Nope, wrong one. That's my message box thing. How about this? Oops, wrong one. We'll get it here in a minute. Hangouts Chrome.
Search.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, so now I've got a Hangout. Now this one I'm going to pull in the whole film strip and put it down in the bottom there, or somewhat. I'm going to take this and I'm going to size it down to, I can take all of you guys, and then I can put it right here, bring it, expand it. See, I can do like this. Now it's not going to fit because I don't have the boxes right, but I can get 3 of you in anyway. Like I can do that, or I could have you 3 in there. And then I'm going to move that to the back, just bringing the arrow down so it goes back behind. So now you can see that I have some people up in the top corner. I have one person in the top corner. I have, which is me on Manicam, and I can make this box smaller so it's not showing up in the other box too. I clean it up a lot of times. Like I'll go just like this, so now it's showing in its own box, and then you guys are down here on your own, and I can kind of square that up, whatever, and do that kind of thing. So that's the kind of stuff that you can do. That's how you get that. Do those kind of things. You can do a closing at the end, like I do on our show, the H&M show. I might add, let's see, text, GDI. This is, I'll just say closing. Oops, let's try a different one because it's already in use from another. How about, because you can use a scene as a source, you can't use the same name of a source and a scene. So just so you know that, because you can actually use a scene as a source too. So we'll just say this, close. Hit that, and we hit OK, and then we just say, thank you for coming tonight. Please subscribe, just whatever. I mean, you can have something. Okay, with that, you can have that. What's kind of cool about it is you can have it actually scrolling. You can align it, set it up to align. So when I put this text in there, I can make it whatever font, whatever color, the opacity of it. I can change that, how you know, how much shows up there. Background opacity, alignment left. I can do it on the left, center. Actually, we'll do it from the bottom. Hit OK. And then you can even resize from here. You can do something like this. You can align it right there. See how to scroll. Trying to remember. Been a while since I did it for the other one. I'm wondering if this is the one or you have to do the other. Use custom text elements. Check. May even be, hold on, let me see if it's a filter. Scroll, there it is. Okay, so if I add scroll to it, I can do a horizontal speed. It can be that, you know, you can change it to whatever you want there. Slow it down. There's a, you know, you can change however you want. If you wanted to do a vertical, you could do a vertical one, but I can do that and just have that coming right here. I can have it actually disappear like into a logo. So if I go and get an H&M logo, go get an image, H&M, go to browse for it, go back to Google Drive, H&M show logo. Let's say I want to use this one. That's fine. Hit OK. Shrink that down. But if I wanted to have like go right into it, I could have it just, you know, you can be creative with it. Just have it disappearing right into the logo. So that way it's in there. You can even go over further. Probably I can probably take off this side and go right to the edge, so it's just pushing right into it. Makes for a kind of cool look, you know. So those are just some of the tricks and things you can do. I can fade that. I can change the opacity of this image. I can make, you know, like you see on our show, we scroll up. We'll use this scroll on the side for bringing in like Twitter feeds or Twitter information or information about us. Those kind of things, we can have that scrolling there. That's kind of cool, doing that kind of thing.
So, Michael, right now you've got a black background. I missed your explanation on how to bring in a color to fill your screen.
Perfect. Let's do it. We'll do it right now.
Right there. Yeah.
No problem. So right here, if I hit the plus sign again, I just want to bring in a color source. So I'm going to add blue this time, just because Andrew likes blue better. So that's why I'm going to do it. You're welcome.
So I'm
going to hit OK. And right now I can select the color that I want. Let's say I want that blue right there. That looks pretty good. That's pretty strong. So I'm going to hit OK. Now again, I want this to be the full background. So I right click on it. I want to actually transform, stretch to screen. You can hit Control S, and now it gives a blue background. But you don't want your blue on top. See how the blue is on top of the other things?
Yeah.
So I just hit the down arrow till those things come in, and I'm good to go.
Okay.
And I'm good to go.
And those colors, like if you know
Yes.
You know
the numbers, CYMK and all that stuff.
Yes.
RGB.
Yeah.
I know my purple color by heart.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely enter those in. That's for sure.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Just change the property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My system is really slowing down. So yes. Property. Yeah. Right here. The color, you can add those right here.
Okay.
I think you can actually select it right here too. You can add the hue, saturation, on all those values, red, green, blue, all that. Yeah. Or the HTML color, whatever, alpha channel. You got it. You can do that. Pretty neat, isn't it?
Is it ever?
Yeah, wow. It really is cool. Now during the live show, what I do, one thing, and this is going to, like I said, this is taking forever to do. I usually almost always go in studio mode during the live show. The reason that I go in studio mode is because I can use keyboard shortcuts during studio mode. So if I want to hit the number 4, it'll take me to a certain scene. Like it might take side by side. That's why you see during the show, especially like with the H&M show, you'll see us go where I pan Heather's big and I'm small. And then I hit number 6, and then that brings me big and her small.
Yeah.
Things like that. It's great to have those shortcuts during the show that you can use. But if I want to see something or test something, I immediately go to studio mode. So that way I can see the side by side and try and figure out what I want to do or how I want to change it. See, this is just so slow right now. It's bogging down, but it's coming up, but it's taking forever to get there. So I can see the scene on the left that I'm previewing, getting ready to bring in, and then I can present that after. Wow, look at that. It's just like bled into it. That's how slow my system is right now. So
now, Michael, you have music in your thing, and right now when I'm doing my show, Roland is playing the music, and I would like to be able to just open and have my slides and the music and.
Oh yeah,
absolutely you do.
So how would you add the music?
Piece of cake.
You're doing your outro right now, I realize, but you might have some music for your outro as well. So
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let me see if it'll go there. I mean, it's just taking forever because I hit a button.
It's a media source, I think, isn't it, Michael?
You can do it different ways. You can actually bring the sound with the video, or you can bring your own.
That's true.
You can bring your own MP3 file in.
Yeah.
Okay. Lolan, I used to do that with the live program I used to produce using OBS. And I like to do it separately because what I wanted to do was I had an MP4 originally that had music behind it. But I wanted the music to continue after that video was gone for like 5 seconds, so that when we went to a live shot,
you could say something with the music fading out.
Exactly.
Idea?
Yeah. Exactly, because I'm an old radio guy. I like to talk over the.
Yeah, I like that effect too. Yeah.
So I used to run the MP4 silent at, let's say, 5 seconds, and then I had a 7-second MP3 that ran in the same scene and started at the same time. So whenever I'd go to that, it would immediately start the video and the audio. And as the video faded out, behind it was the live camera. So in other words, we had a live camera that was covered up by the MP4. And then the audio was playing. So then we went to the guy standing at the front of the room, and he'd say, "Hey, welcome everybody. We're live on the web," and blah blah blah. Did his thing. It was pretty slick. It's neat. It's a neat product. OBS has got a ton of capabilities.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so what I did, if you can I'll go back over to me. Let's see here. So what I've done, like on the plus word for the intro, it doesn't, one thing, and remember, if you're in studio mode, the intro is not playing. What's playing is on the right-hand side. Whatever you have on the right-hand side is what's in there, okay? So in order for the music to even start playing, you have to transition it over into that, unless you're in studio mode. I mean, unless you're out of studio mode, excuse me. I'm sorry, going crazy. But what I've done here is I have the intro to Plusword and I have the intro sound only. And if you notice, it has nothing over here for that image because it's a video. That's one thing I don't like that OBS does. You can't tell whether your video's in there or not. But once it starts up, you'll see and you'll hear the music. There you go. And you can see the intro music is playing. Okay, the intro Plusword. I can turn that off and turn the music only on. So that way the audience is hearing the sound. Okay. I have a choice too. If I want to, just so you know this, advanced in audio properties, this is something I learned on my own. If you don't, let's say, for example, Heather and I, for 15 minutes before the show starts for H&M, we have that music playing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so when we do that, we don't want to hear that in our Zoom. We don't want to hear that. So what I do is I turn the monitor off so I can't hear that sound. But in this particular case, I want to hear it because nobody's really talking on Plusword, so I want to monitor and have output. Mm-hmm. I can do both. So it's audio monitoring. I can see what's going out and what's going on. So that's why I have this on right here and then off for my mic and everything. Okay, because I don't want to hear my own mic and all that. So I don't want to monitor those things. And these are the things that are playing. You can see my mic is going and the desktop audio is you guys. And then boom, I'd kick in right into the next scene with my 5 folks. Boom, I'd go right into Plusword after that faded out. After that Plusword intro faded out, I could go right into the 5 people all right here with Plusword and all that kind of stuff.
So OBS, basically, if I wanted to use that MP3, I would just pull it in and OBS would play it. I don't need to be playing it from within another
Exactly. Exactly right. Now you have some control for that. You remember how we could set how the slideshow worked?
Yeah.
You have some options with the MP3 as well. So as you bring it in, you'll be able to set some settings. I always wanted it to start at the beginning and play till whenever, right? And then not to loop. I think by default they loop it. So you might want to be careful not to allow it to loop.
And I actually bring the sound in as a media source. So if I click media source, you're going to see right here, if it'll ever load up, you will see, okay, hold on, give it a second. Just got to think. You can see right here, ending Plusword sound only and Plusword intro sound only. I brought those in as a media source. You can bring them in, as John was mentioning, and if this will give me time to get to it, I'll show you. I can't believe how slow this thing's running. As a source, I think it's, I forget what it is, but hopefully it'll come up.
So to play audio or video.
There you go, audio output capture. Like audio output capture and audio input capture. Input capture would be my mic. Audio input capture. Audio output capture would be the desktop sound. And then I could actually bring in an MP3, I think, as output capture. I think that's right. Does that sound right, John?
I'm sorry, I was fiddling with something, Michael. What was that?
Okay. I think audio output capture would be like.
I can never remember. I have to play around with it.
That's why I do it as a media source. That's why I do it as a media source. Yeah. If you do it as a media source, it comes in and you can just play it right from your computer. That's to me the easiest.
So when you say you play it right from your computer, that means that you need to have another program playing it.
No. No,
You
it's
have
just
that option,
coming.
of course, but
Yeah,
you don't
that's
need
true. Yeah, you don't need to.
You could bring in a window or an application, you know, and then play it in there if it suited your purposes better. But
Right.
what Michael is saying is that once you saved an audio file like an MP3,
Yeah.
and you put it in as an element of a scene
Yes,
in
right here.
OBS, you have then the ability. If you go to properties on that,
Yep. If I right
you
click
get to,
on this
and you go to properties, you'll tell it how you want it to manage that audio source. Do you want it to start every time that scene starts, or only play once, or loop, or whatever?
Yeah, right
See
here.
all those options Michael has down at the bottom. I can't read them, but
I know.
I can't either.
No, I know. But you can see the file. Okay, the file is an MP3 file, first of all, in the local file. I can loop it is my first choice if I want to, but I don't want to because I'm only playing it once. I'm doing an intro. And then I can restart playback when the source becomes active. So as soon as I make that source active, that's when it starts. Restarts playback. I can use hardware decoding when available. Sure, I did that. Hide source when playback ends. Sure, I did that. Close file when inactive. You can do that too, just to help on your resources. So those are some of the things you can do.
Okay, so when I hit what did I hit? I right where I have the image slideshow, that's part of the intro. Then if I add audio output, so I have the choice of audio input, output, or media source, is what you're saying.
Yes, that is true.
Then I'm still creating new, right?
I mean, you're always
creating a new
one.
media source, right?
Yeah.
Until you've created it in OBS, you're creating a new one. After you've created an OBS and you want to use it in another scene, then you select it from. It'll show it to you in the list, and you can select it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
now
if there's nothing in that list, you're always going to want to create a new.
local file. So if I go and look for music. Now I forget what the darn thing is called.
Well, you'd have to remember that. There's just there's some things we can't help you with.
That's true.
I did this did that part so long ago I forget. I'll have to go and look for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Google, maybe it's in Google. Here it is. Found it. All right. So now restart playback when source becomes active. Use hardware decoding when available. Hide source. Maybe I should screen share this so you can see what I'm seeing.
Yeah, you might be able to help some other people that are watching later too, so that'd be good.
So here's what I'm looking at. I don't understand all this stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
Close
it looks good.
file.
No, it looks good the way you have it.
Okay.
I can't see it. Is she
So it
sharing her screen?
Yeah, she is. So it doesn't it doesn't default to loop, so that's good.
Oh, there it is. Oh, that's good. They must have improved that because it drove me crazy every time I would.
Yeah.
So how?
So now when you transition to that, your video and your audio will start playing. I don't know what you named that. It just says media source. Did you name it a sound file or anything so you can identify
I
it?
didn't. Should I?
Rename
property.
Just go to rename it. Or just go up to rename it. Hit cancel. Hit cancel. Right click. Rename. Right click. Rename.
Oh. Swamp Stomp. Well, media source, I should say MP4 Swamp Stomp, shouldn't I?
I would
whatever.
just put, I just put Swamp Stomp MP3 because it's a sound file.
Yeah, MP3. Okay.
No.
But then, so that then once you've got your intro and your music going, and then I'm assuming you like then if you want to do bring in your hangout, then you like I would go to scene 2 and bring in the hangout. Is that how you would do it?
For your next stage, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, scene 2.
Yeah, scene 2, you could bring in your hangout, sure. It's going to be tough. Hangouts are not easy to bring in because you got a little square and it's not going to look beautiful. I'm just telling you it's not. But you can, yes, you can do that. And the thing is you don't want to include yourself in there because if you include yourself in there, it's just going to have your name. And whoever talks, their name's going to show up, not their image. It kind of stinks. So Hangouts is probably not the best bet.
Okay. So.
But you don't, I'm just saying, what you may want to just bring your main screen in. So whoever's talking comes up on screen.
Okay, so I've got add, audio, color, display capture.
No, you're going to do a window capture because you're going to capture the Hangout.
Okay, window capture.
And just type in Hangout. Just type the word Hangout right now. You don't
right
have to
there.
Just type in. Okay, well, go ahead and back it out and then hit Hangout. But you could have just typed Hangout. Go ahead.
In this screen or somewhere else?
Type in Hangout. Type in the word Hangout. To Hangout video or whatever, or something to identify it.
Hangout screen, window screen.
Yep.
Okay.
Hit OK. Now you have to change it. Let's see. Yeah. It's going to show the shared screen right now because that's all you can do.
So if I weren't sharing screen, it would show what we're looking at right now, would it?
Well, yes. Yes. It would, you would show the main video screen of the Hangout if that's what you want to capture. Whatever you want to capture or whoever's video you want to capture, that's what you want to do. That's why I do Zoom. Zoom's a separate window. I can have it over there. I can pull in just that image of whatever person that I want. I can choose the person that I want to put on there.
Yeah. But I guess where I'm not clear is, okay, so regardless of whether you're using Hangouts or whether you're using Zoom, you have to start, you have to set up the Zoom or the Hangout first. Like, can you set this all up, or does it all have to, you have to input all this as you're just beginning your Hangout or Zoom?
Yeah, you have to bring everybody in.
Depends on whether you're rearranging stuff between shows. You know, if you always keep your Hangout on this, let's say you have a second monitor or something, you always have it in the same position, you could preset it up, and as long as you didn't fiddle around with it and move things around, then it would show up properly. But it's, I don't know very many people that do that.
Yeah, I have the YouTube chat that I pop out every single, so when I go in to get ready to do our show for the H&M show, I go and I pull out the timer. I start it first before I even open OBS. I start the timer. Heather and I get in the Zoom. I open up the chat. I pop out the YouTube chat. I have all those things done ahead of time. Then I open OBS. So that way, at least it'll recognize.
Okay,
it'll say.
That's what I was missing, was the sequence.
It'll say properties, and a lot of times it's wrong. Like it'll have the Hangout window instead of the chat window. So what I have to do is go in, and I pre-do that before every show. I go in and I make sure, and I just go to the properties and I re-choose. Here's the YouTube chat. Boom, and it fixes it, and it's good, and I can go right then. So it doesn't always work right, but that's the sequence that I go through. I start the little timer because I'm going to use that with my video that I'm going to be playing. And that's an added window that's not normally open, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I go in and I do all that. There's a lot of work to it. I mean, I do a lot of stuff behind that scene before it actually goes live. There's a lot of stuff going on right before that happens and while it's going on.
And can you hear me?
Yeah.
My experience is that my limited experience is when I crop a display, I think it's a display, maybe it's a monitor capture, it won't survive from week to week. I have to recrop displays that I've previously saved. Have you had that experience, Michael?
No, actually, it's been really great for me because one thing that I do is, like, I have 4 monitors. So one of my monitors, I have the zoom in. So I can put myself and Heather in that zoom, and it stays to her image every single time. I don't have to redo the images ever. I mean, the video, let's just put it that way. So that capture works perfectly. Now, what you might be talking about are like the timer. Like the timer sometimes will be off, but usually not. Once I pick the right window and I have it generally in the same spot, like my YouTube chat is perfect every time. It takes out the top window part and it takes out my entering, something into the YouTube chat. I have it set perfectly, and that one works out perfectly. But sometimes, like we don't always use the Twitter fall that Heather was using where we had the Twitter come up there. That I had to reset just about every stinking time because I think it had to do with the measurement of the window, how wide I had it and all that kind of stuff. So does that make sense? Does that answer what you were saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay.
So I have another question. So you set everything up in either Zoom or YouTube, and you've got all of that set up there, and then you open OBS. How do you go live with the OBS?
Well, if you see right here in this screenshot that I have right here, up at the very top on this, it says right above where it says studio mode, it says start streaming. I just click that and start streaming. So what I do is, and if you want to know more detailed than that, what I have to do is I have to go to File and Settings and wait. Oh no! And then I go to Stream, and I have this pre-set up, and I'm not going to show this on screen, but I have a stream key right here. When I go over to YouTube, I enter that stream key into my YouTube channel, and boom, OBS streams right to YouTube using that stream key. That's it.
So let me see if I understand this correctly. What I've been doing all this time is I've been going to YouTube, and YouTube has been telling me what the stream key is, and I've been pasting that into OBS. What you're saying is that you have your own OBS stream key, and you're telling YouTube to use that. Or do I have that wrong?
No, you're doing it right, but you only have to do it once.
Unless it is a scheduled event.
Right, then you have to do different things. Yes.
Every time you have to use.
Yeah, if you do a scheduled event, but see now that they have YouTube fixed with that, just what is it called? I can't even remember now. It's awesome though. I love it. I did not want to change that key every single time. That was ridiculous. We weren't sure. And if I had it left unlisted because we did an unlisted one because we were testing before we went to a live one, oh my God, it just screwed up one of our shows. And I said, I'm not doing that crap anymore. But I can schedule my next screen, my next stream. Now YouTube, I don't have to do that. I can just leave it one code in there, one key, and I can schedule my next stream. And as soon as I hit that, put the date in for my next stream, it comes out perfectly, whether it's Plusword or whether it's the H&M show or whatever I want to do. They made it really nice. They made it really nice. So that's what I do. So for example, if I can pull this over there, I don't know if anything will move on my computer, but like right here, you can see, hopefully, I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't. Can you?
No.
No. Oh, that's because I have it in the wrong place. Okay, how about there?
Yeah.
See, so now right here, I have that streaming key right here. It's the same one every single time, never changes, and it's public. I can schedule my next stream, and I don't have to worry about that. I don't ever have to change that key. We tried it. Heather and I tried it. It was like a nightmare because we were like, oh my God, well, nobody's seeing anything. It's unlisted and all this kind of stuff because of what we did and tried. So.
Yeah. So Jess wants to have a page where people can go and watch your show live, but then she wants to be able to keep that live all the time. So when she starts to get YouTube comments and other things that are coming in, that she doesn't have to deal with sending them to any other place. That once she has a live program, she just wants that to be evergreen. So we're under the impression that we have to have a separate scheduled YouTube live each time to be able to embed it in, I guess it's a web page for that purpose. Is that correct?
I don't know enough about it to say yes or no.
Okay.
But I would guess yes.
I would think so.
Yeah, does it become an event?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, mine doesn't become an event. Mine is just the next thing, here's what's coming, and boom. It's just so much easier.
Yeah.
There's already so much that I was doing. It's just like, okay, I'm not doing this. It's just one other thing that we had on our checklist. We use Trello as our checklist, and we check things off as we go when we're doing the show, and we just go through the process to make sure that we don't miss anything. And that was just one that, because of, I don't know how to explain it, but it works better for me, I think, having that. And Lola, before I go much further, did that answer your question? How do you start the stream?
Well, I just found the start streaming button. I couldn't see it on your screen, but I found it on mine.
Right. Good. Okay. Good. I just want to make sure.
Down in the lower right-hand corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I've got a question.
Yeah, please.
Which order do you click the buttons in? Do you start streaming and then click start recording, or do you click start recording and then click start streaming?
No, start recording records to your computer. That's two different animals.
Okay.
Two total different animals. You don't ever want to start recording unless you want to record just
on my computer.
Yeah, exactly.
I would beg to differ, Michael. I think one of the advantages of local recording is obviously you're not live streaming it, but you're going to get better quality because you don't have the bandwidth issues.
I have found every time recording with OBS over 15 minutes has been horrible. But that's just my experience. You guys know my computer right now.
When you say horrible, what do you mean, Michael? What manifestation are you seeing?
Just slow and bogged down and jitters and snap, and same thing that you're seeing on my live stream. And that could be totally my computer. I use other stuff to record with. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't.
Way off right now.
Yeah. That's because I have Manicam open. I have OBS open. I have all my windows are open. Yeah, no, I get it. I understand why.
Thank God you don't have Voicemeeter open, or do you?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, but Voicemeter's not a huge source. I mean, it really isn't.
So I think one of the things that Dan McDermott used to do is he would run them both. He would do a recording and live stream simultaneously. And then he would go back and upload the recorded one later. He would go in and edit it because he liked the quality better. So again, it probably depends on your computer and your graphics card and how much horsepower it's got.
Yeah, he was bringing in his video. He was bringing in the Hangout from a capture card too. So that makes it different. So it wasn't, that Hangout wasn't burning resources on your own computer. He had another computer that he was bringing that in.
Right.
So that helped with his processing too and that kind of stuff. So
I got a slick one for you, Michael. As far as the Twitter feed. Let me share a screen here. There's a lot of stuff on the OBS forum. There is, I was looking at how to get Twitter feeds into OBS.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, I wish I could take credit for it. There is, oh shoot, that didn't work as well as I hoped. Let me share my other screen. There's a guy who went through a great explanation of how to go about, what do I do here? Share screen, share my screen one. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna look at this one. I have a file called AF widget HTML, okay? I'm gonna open that with an editor. There's a guy in the OBS forum who gave all the parameters for this. But basically, this is a local HTML file that I just put on my desktop that puts in, you know, what do they call it? The cascading style sheet, CSS codes and all that kind of stuff. And you can see it's got HTTPS, Twitter.com, hashtag. In this case, it says Aloha Friday. In other words, that hashtag Aloha Friday is what I wanted to capture. I wanted to go out and search the Twitter streams for any hashtags that say Aloha Friday. And then I think my data widget ID, I can't remember whether that came off of my Twitter feed or what. Data link color, all these parameters are talking about how to present this image. Now, when I put it into OBS, I simply put it in as an HTML source. So I'm going to go share my other screen again. Come on. So what I've got, come on, is a browser source. And if I say properties, the browser source simply points to that file. And then I tell it how wide I want it, how high I want it, and it gives you some ability to tweak things like make it transparent or not. I actually set one up for the H&M show hashtag when I was playing with this, but for whatever reason, I did 3 versions with different kinds of presentation. This one with a white background, this one transparent.
We can't see anything if you're showing us something.
Oh, really? Oh, duh. How about now? Here you go. This is the H&M Twitter widget. I did 3 versions. This upper left-hand corner one is the one with the white background, and there's transparent backgrounds on the other 2. That was all set up in the HTML stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this wavy thing is just this is just an animated GIF behind it. But when I went to the Aloha Friday one, this one is actually showing stuff on the Twitter verse, if you will. Yeah, I'm going to remove, or I'll just turn it off. And so and then as another feed comes in or another hashtag Aloha Friday, it just changes, goes to the most current one. So it's kind of cool.
It'll probably do that on Friday. Right now, it's not Friday. So.
Yeah. Well, H&M show doesn't appear to be having a whole lot of actions.
You go.
It says, an empty timeline. That's weird.
Right.
Check for tweets.
That's right.
And again, that's a real, it'd be nice to be able to set that up, and then you could bring it in. And if you, during your show, you always ask people to comment on Twitter using that hashtag, and that would bring their comments in automatically. I don't know how quickly it does it, whether it's how often it refreshes. Yeah. But there's going to be a certain amount of lag. But
well, the Twitter fall was really great. It really was, because we could pull up, and as they came in, they did the same thing, but it was kind of small and it was right down here, down at the down at the bottom. And it works. But then, but you're bringing in a Windows screen.
You couldn't bring in that. Yeah, couldn't bring in that app or whatever it was, right? Because it threw it out in a separate box or something weird like that.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of strange. I've discovered something called Tweet Alerts, and what it does is allows you to set it up so that it can bring in any. You set it up and you point it to a Twitter account. And then when you're on that account, anytime you like a tweet, it will bring it on screen, and when you unlike the tweet, it'll take it off, and it'll allow you to, bounce it in or zoom it in from the left.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
And so
yeah, that would give you some editorial control over what was being shown.
and it's really kind of interesting because we've got it set up in an OBS. You can then take that video source and then you can scale it to wherever you want. So I've got it in the lower left-hand corner of something.
Yeah, I saw it on your show. It was really good.
No matter what tweet it is, it'll be fine. And Jess actually has a VA virtual assistant in Bulgaria. So she comes in and she is part of the Zoom, but she's hidden, and she's watching the show live, and she's the one who's actually bringing in the tweets and taking them out. So
I have to meet somebody from Bulgaria then, I guess, what you're saying. Tweets, is that the way we'll have to? No, I'm just kidding.
If you, I'm going to put in the chat here, forget about the free online media for the time being. That is the URL to a tutorial on how to do that.
Okay, thanks. You should put that in the Hangout message box versus this because
yeah.
Do we have one? I don't even know if we have. Yeah, we should have one because it's recording, so we should have one. Yeah, we do. Because this chat doesn't stay with us. That one will.
I know. So can you point me? Can you? I've got you. I don't have the Hangout message for this group. I've got you.
There you go.
Can I just put it in your Hangout message box? And then
I just put here so you can see. Should have just popped up.
It did.
Yeah, it should.
Oh. One of the issues of having two Google accounts, active Google accounts.
There you go.
All right. Cool. So this is, what is it? It's tweet.
But that'd be good. That'd be excellent. So what else? What else can I help y'all with or teach you or show you or anything? Anything else that you guys wanted to go over today? I mean, we covered a lot of stuff. It's been about an hour and 42 minutes.
About an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It certainly does. I know that as time goes on, I will have a gazillion more questions, but I have a place to begin. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is live streaming can be really cool. I mean, I was real hesitant when I first did it because I was a huge Hangout person. I loved Hangouts and I loved what they did, and I was real hesitant to go to the live streaming part. But I'll be honest with you, to me, it's not easier, but it's I think it gives you a cleaner and more crisper presentation versus a Hangout. Just because Hangouts, they're just not paying attention to them.
Wow.
Well, and they never were intended to be broadcasting. They
Right.
were basically teleconferencing, right?
Yeah.
So you could sit and chat with people. And OBS gives you so many more capabilities as far as producing
Yeah.
and your options. The other thing that I'll strongly encourage you guys to do is go to obsproject.org, I think it is, or com. OBS Project, just Google that. Go to the forums there. The gamers in that forum.
Yeah,
OBS was spawned from the gamer community.
Yeah.
They know how to do everything, and just put your questions in there or search for the question. Chances are 50 other people have asked it before, and there's a tremendous amount of information. Be prepared to be overwhelmed by the data you get back from these guys, because they are, but take what you can understand and apply it. Is just so much, and there's guys writing plugins for OBS where you can add new features,
Wow.
and that's under something called resources, I think, on OBS Project. But it's a very, very robust community, and there's a tremendous amount of support for it, and it's free.
That's free. Just love that. I just love OBS. I've had some experience switching at a TV studio, and it has exactly the same look and feel. You get to set up what you want ahead of time, and then you're on the edge of your seat. And then when the next person talks or the energy changes, all you have to do is hit the button and it transitions, and then you set up for the next thing, and it's just beautiful. It just is a lot, and it's a lot of fun.
One thing, Scott, too, just some feedback for you on your show. One thing that I'm going to do on my show, because it was after watching your show, switching from the guest to the person, as opposed to them like the big on this side and the big, have them swap, like almost like shrink down and scale up in the same spot. Does that make sense?
Oh, I've got a featured person, and then the other
Small
person.
one.
So
me too. But I'm just saying that when I noticed, it looks kind of awkward when you go from scene to scene. If you just, if those people change, like make the person big and then make the person small on the same side. So that's what I'm doing on mine.
if I use the template where there's a featured person and then the other person is in the smaller box, and then I just switch places with them, are you saying that looks awkward?
Well, I noticed it on our show, and then I saw it on your show, and I was like, I need to change that. Something needs to happen. So what I'm doing is I'll have, let's say Heather's small and I'm large. Okay. I'm the big view. What I'm doing is keeping us on the same side, but just changing, like making the window get big.
Scaling the windows.
When she talks, now it's bigger on her side. I mean, but we stay on the same side. What was weird is going from side to side. It was cool at first when we started doing it, but then I was like, that's hard on the eyes. Whereas it just kind of keeps you on the same side, just makes one bigger and not the other.
Yeah,
pretty cool though.
I think you're right, because that's
visual.
There's a term that's even for. Okay, that's a point well taken. I agree that
it's less visually disruptive.
It's not. One of the rules when you go between two cameras is that you don't go from a close up to a close up, because they're two same. You always go from a close up to a medium shot, or a close up to a long shot, something like that. And what you're describing is sort of like going from a similar shot to a similar shot, and it really is awkward. So I need to remember not to do that.
One thing too is I wish that OBS had fade. I've actually sent them feedback on this. Fade per slide, like per slide show, or per scene, I should say. That would be kind of cool, as to always have just one kind of transition that always happens. But I've sent them feedback on that too.
You don't?
That's
what are you talking about?
The quick transition?
You have transition that you do from this scene to this scene, right?
So you want to be able to do it per scene?
A different transition, possibly.
I got it. Yeah, because they're basically, you're setting up your transitions as a global
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And you'd prefer a scene-specific.
Well, sometimes, not always. I mean, this is perfect. I mean, I'm not complaining, because it actually works great. But it'd be kind of cool sometimes to where if you could have like a special, if I could have a transition that comes up just to bring the lower third in, as a perfect example. I just want to bring it up and then drop it back down or something. Something like that, something different.
As it is now, you have to set the
two scenes,
the lower third on the existing, duplicate what you have on there, adding the lower third, transition to that, and then transition back to the scene without the lower third. Exactly. You just want to be able to bring up the lower third and take it down again.
Exactly. Something like that, or have a transition where I can do that, where it just comes up from the bottom or something. Just something cool, something different.
Yeah.
Well, there's an interesting. I was just looking at wondering whether there was a filter that might do that. There's something called render delay. I don't know what that means, but is it ability to? So if you wanted to set your fade, anyway, I have to play with it to figure out what it is.
Well, John looks for that. I'm going to say good night, everybody. I've enjoyed listening to you. But I've had it up to here. So much information. But I'm glad y'all are all learning it and you know all about it. And remember everything you hear because I'm not going.
Hey, listen, I think the only one that's doing any learning here is me. The rest of them are all experts.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's absolutely
Who
true.
says experts don't learn though? You know, that's the thing about OBS. It's so deep. You can keep digging.
They're always learning when they're talking about OBS. Good night, all. Good to see everybody.
See you, Sheila. I'm going to stop the recording unless anybody wants to add something to it. We can talk afterward, but I just want to stop the recording unless you guys have something you want to add.
Yeah, thank you very much, Michael.
Yeah, my pleasure.